All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start. This, of course, is called LinkedIn Establishing a Professional Brand on LinkedIn. Now, I've actually done this through Canva, so yes, it's going to work. So let me introduce myself. I'm Kay Ridge. We've got somebody else coming in. Bear with me. Sorry, guys, I've got more people coming in, so just bear with me a moment. I'll just let them in and I'll start going. Oh, we've got somebody else coming in. Sorry, it gets quite distracting when you've got more people coming in. Okay, so let me introduce myself. I'm Kay Ridge. I run a company called Dash Social, and I like to call myself a solution solver. My specialty is LinkedIn. This is where I like to play. Yes, I can do the others, but this is where I find that I receive so many leads and can gain some business. So let's go through and explain what it's all about. So why LinkedIn? It's really, really simple. It's all about connections. So it's connections. So it's a social media platform for professionals. It's mostly effectively used by small business owners. Provides additional opportunities for your business, and I'll go through that. There are 10 million users between Australia and New Zealand, 8 million in Australia. So if you don't think you can get business from it, you're wrong. Okay, so how much does LinkedIn cost? You can get the basic account for free, but like anything that's free, it is limited. You can build and maintain your trusted professional network. However, and it will say to you, oh, you're popular, you've got this many people that are starting to look at your profile. The difference between having the Premier and this is in Premier, it will tell you who's been looking at you. So if it's your competitors, you can go, hi, I noticed that you've been looking at me. How may I help you? Which means they probably won't look at you again because they know that you can see. Or it's for new business. So let's go through and have a look. So how much does LinkedIn cost if you're going to do premium? Well, it's around about $60 a month. So you'd be wanting to get your return on investment for that $60 a month. So what you get with that is what they call 15 in-mail messages, which means, say for Anna Montgomery, you and I are not friends on LinkedIn. I send you a connection. Please always put in a note, or it just looks like spam if you don't. So I would go, hi Anna, look, I noticed that we have a couple of friends, or I really love your profile. I'd love for us to connect. I think that we could help each other in business. Okay, that way it's personal, and LinkedIn is all about connections that are personal. So what happens if Anna isn't on LinkedIn and she connects with me on LinkedIn? I get that one in-mail message that I've sent to her, I get that credit back. If she doesn't respond, I don't get it, but you get 15 per month. And as I said, you can see who's looking at your profile. Remember, with anything that you do in social media, and in particular, when you look at LinkedIn, it's about your brand. It's how you speak. And when I say that, it's things, for example, when you're looking at, if you surfboards, you're going to speak in a different way than if you're a solicitor. And we understand that, but be true to your brand. So for example, I deal in the professional and, well, I deal with solicitors, but I also deal with manufacturers and small business. So I'm a little bit different, that my language is pretty much the same with both. However, if you deal just in the professional market, then speak professionally. So there wouldn't be any swear words or anything like that. And carry it across all your platforms. You have a digital footprint. And if I'm going to do work with you, I'm going to search all of them. And trust me, it will pick up everything. I've picked up a professional woman when she was 19, she was couch surfing in London. That's how far back it goes. Okay, we will take questions at the end. So let's talk about your headshot. Now, how I like to explain this to you is if you're looking at LinkedIn, it's like the first part of your LinkedIn profile is like a newspaper. So you had your big image, which is your banner, which draws you in, then a lot of an inset photo, which is your profile or your headshot photo, and then it's your headline. So what you're trying to do is get interest of what's coming in. Guys, those that are just tuning in now, we are videoing and you will get it at the end. It's just because we've only got an hour, I had to start pretty much on time. So let's talk about your headshot then. You need to have a fairly clear background behind your headshot. Your headshot should take up 60% of the frame, and I'll show you how you can go in there and zoom in to make sure that it does that. You should have a welcoming expression, and I'm going to show you some things and you decide whether you think it's whether you think that it's welcoming or not. And your background shouldn't be distracting. All right. Choose the right profile picture for you. So this one, you can see that the guy on the right, he's blurred out the back, which is great. But the woman on the left, her background is also good because it's not distracting. In fact, it's brought her forward. She's smiling, she's welcoming it, and yes, you look like somebody that I could do business with. Here's some other examples. So there we've got 3 more, exactly the same. You'll notice mine in the middle. That is a professional shot. If you're really going to get into this and talk about business, you need to have a professional shot. Okay, this is business, it's not playtime. And the way that I describe it differently when you're looking at your different social media is your Instagram is your picture book. Your Facebook is your social. It's about getting to know you. It's the warm fuzzies. LinkedIn is business. We don't care about the other 2. This is about connections, and keep in mind with this, it's not necessarily the connection that perhaps I have with Mark. It's who Mark knows and who I know. So obviously the more connections you have, then the more people want to connect with you because it's those connections. And LinkedIn will go down 3 degrees. So if you ever see on LinkedIn first, second, or third, say if you're looking at my profile, you know that that person, I'm connected to that person if it's third, 3 degrees away. So it's not who I'm connected to or that person's connected to, but that person's person is connected, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's look at your LinkedIn banner. So your LinkedIn banner is really your call to action. So you can put things on there like making ideas happen, talk about what type of person you are, or it can simply be blank. You know, a lot of the times I will have a call to action on it like, are you tired of trying to do LinkedIn yourself? How about get a professional to do it? The only time that I would take that down, and I would suggest that you all have a plain LinkedIn banner, which you can do with Canva, and hopefully you all have parts or can do Canva, is if a natural disaster or something like that, hey guys, can you make sure also please that you mute? Thank you. If there's a natural disaster, or if you imagine like this time last year when COVID started, put a blank up. Just a simple banner just with your photo. The reason being at that point, you're not important. It's not about you. So you just take a step back into the background. Obviously, you know, talk about business, but don't become the forefront at that time. There's too many other things happening and you don't want to be confused in the messaging. Okay, your LinkedIn headline. I love this. Oh my God, shocking news, because that's all the newspapers do. Draw you in. So I just don't want to have something like, okay, let's talk about me. Can you silence the notifications, please? Of course. Sorry about that. I've just taken that off. Sorry about that, Jodie. So what happens, you know, I could just turn around and say, I do social media. Well, it's boring for one. Why would you come and do something with me? You want it to be striking, and I'll show you my profile. That's part of what I'm going to do today, is your headline needs to be everything that you do. And it could be more than one thing. For example, I'm also a coin accredited agent. I put that in my profile. I'm also the president of a commerce. I put that in my profile. It all is about the knowledge that I bring to the table in my current position. Okay, and people are looking for something that they have. They have something that they can do with you. All right. So here we have, if we go on to the next one. So a LinkedIn headline is a section at the top of your profile which describes what you do. You have 120 characters, and the brief description appears next to the user's name in search results. All right, so something, for example, helping millions of startups, helping business reach their potential, leveraging your product. All of these are great things to draw you in, because what you want them to do is hit that button that says more. So they get to know more about you. And I'll go through and detail what I need you to do there. So here's my profile again. So I'm an aspiring leader. I'm a director of Dash Social. I'm a digital solution provider, mentoring for growth, mentor, educator, building marketing confidence. I have over 500 connections, and I grow out of other ideas. Okay, again, it's coming down to what you do, and it's changed since then. So your summary or your about section, this is about who you are. So, you know, again, the Ku is obviously American, marketing head, founder, whatever it may be. So the summary field, which is also called the about section, think of LinkedIn as the objective section of your resume. What should you put in there? What value propositions can you put in there? Because it's all about what's in it for me. Why would I get you to do some work for me? What can you do for me? Okay, make it personal, give the reader an insight into your personality outside of your business. It stands you out from the rest. So one of the examples I give is, this is again is my resume. Halfway down, I've got get to know me. And I would like you all to put get to know me. This is the portion where you look at getting that connection. And for me, I put, I'm a life hacker, world traveler, been to 18 countries, creative, connect, contribute, stylist, love the colors white and yellow, snow skiing, blah, 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 blah. And anything to do with the All Blacks, because you haven't noticed by now, my accent is a New Zealander. And then I put, most people do not know I hate water. I hate to either drink it or swim in it. Why do I do that? Because the people that contact me, the first thing they're going to say to me is, oh my God, why don't you like water? And my response is always, have you seen what fish do in it? It's disgusting. And then there's this big laugh. Now you no longer have a cold lead, you have a warm lead. You've had a laugh together, you haven't had to talk to something about like the weather or how was your weekend. It's not, you don't know that person well enough to ask them how their weekend was. So you talk about something where, you know, the person that I'm speaking to may say, oh my God, I drink 3 litres a day. And I'll be going, oh my God, you must spend half your life in the bathroom. And then again, where it's another connection in another form. So it's not to be something, for example, that's personal as such. You know, I had one lady and she dealt in fertility and she wanted to talk about how many children she'd lost. And I said, that's not the forum. This is business. And yes, it's why you do what you do, but that won't create a warm lead. So it may be something like I'm a chocolate addict. It might be I'm a sports addict. I had one client and they used to be on a TV show when they were a child. Well, they put that in because again, we're trying to find something about you to create that connection, something that you may have in common. And then at the bottom, I always have my call to action. Want to test? Before you invest, send me an email and let's have a chat. Let's get to know each other a little bit more. Complete your profile. you need your profile to be 100%, and there is a profile strength meter to gauge the strength of your profile on LinkedIn. Fill it out. Most people don't, and they won't get the leads. Here's the other thing why you have a LinkedIn profile. Google loves LinkedIn. Google hates Facebook. So if I Googled Adam Woodhouse, for example, and thanks Adam for putting your full name, it helps. Your profile for LinkedIn will come up before your Facebook profile. And again, it's about landing your digital footprint. It's about when you're doing your summary, you're going to put in keywords about what you do and have a think about how somebody would search for you and make sure that those words are in your summary. All right. Take the LinkedIn assessment. It tells what your skills are, and we want to do that. And please, please request recommendations. What is great about recommendations is that you cannot write it. So let's say I sent Robert Matheson, after we've done work together, I sent him a recommendation with a note always and said, look, thanks so much. I know that you're happy with the work that I've completed. Would you please give me a recommendation? He sends it back to me. I can either accept it and it goes onto my LinkedIn profile, or I can ask him to redo it. It is not your words, and therefore it's truth, okay, and shows what you do. Obviously, if it's going to be a bad recommendation, it's like you wouldn't put in a bad resume. You don't put it on, but you wouldn't be asking those people if you had that for a recommendation anyway. You'd be trying to fix up what reputation you had to see if that you had something mutually that you could do again. One of the other features that they have in LinkedIn is a feature section. So when you write an article, you can actually feature it. Now, for me, because I deal in LinkedIn, I have a gentleman who's an influencer called Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary V. He's known by both names. And he's now talking about LinkedIn and how it's it's better than Facebook, why you should get on it, massive opportunity. And all he's doing is promoting what I do. So I've obviously got him as a feature. If I've done an article recently, or I want an article that to direct people to my website, for example, I will also put it in this section. Again, fill everything out so that you get noticed. So here we have the activity, and this is where you can go in and you can see where you shared it, whether you wrote it. You don't always have to post. You can share other people's work and make a comment. Again, it's getting noticed. So before we go on, let's just recap a bit, and then I'm going to go into my profile, and then hopefully we're halfway through, I can go into the next section. So you always select your profile by going into the Me section. Have a look at the Add Profile section, because obviously you have things in there like volunteer work. That's really important and ranks you higher. Put any imagery that you can in there. Media is always higher ranking than words. All right. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you through and show you my profile and go through it and explain it. And if anybody has anything that they'd like to ask me, I've got the chat box up. Please put into the chat box so that I can answer for you. I would like you also to connect with me, please, on LinkedIn. Just put on there, I saw your webinar this morning, so I know that you're true and where you came from. Because obviously I've got over 500 connections in there, and I'm sort of at a point now where they're really important, but I want people that are actually want to connect with me, and that way I can help you as well. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a drink. Okay, and that also tells that I'm part of the ASBAS advisors. ASBAS is absolutely fantastic, guys. You have the best opportunity to learn so much for either free or a low cost. Use it to your advantage. It won't be there forever. And it really is, being federally funded, it is fantastic. How much higher does media rank than words? It's a really good question, Sybil, one that I don't know. Basically, that's something that you would have to ask somebody that deals in SEO. All I can tell you is that the string that you put in when you're doing your summary when you have these different robots and algorithms that go through with Google, they will pick it up. The more times that your string is picked up, the higher up the ranking you go. Look, there are 3 K Ridges in the world, 2 in America. One's a real estate agent and the other is a fantastic artist. I've knocked them both off page 1. So I'm telling you, dealing in LinkedIn works. Get noticed first. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to change the screen and give you a new share. All right, so let's look now and see if I can get you on screen 2. I'm just going to refresh it. Bear with me 1 minute. All right, can everybody see my LinkedIn profile? Fabulous, thank you for that. Okay, so let's go through what we have. Your banner at the top, my banner currently is your goals and visions are within reach. Together we create. I change that banner every month. Why? I'm glad you asked, not that you actually asked. But the reason being is every time you change that banner, your connections know. Why do I want that? Because I want to be front of mind with the clients that I want them to keep giving me work. That's why I change it. What I've also done, you may notice, there you have my profile image. That is part of my marketing, that profile image. That is on any pull-up banners I have. It's on any of my marketing, my presentations. Any time that I'm in front of anybody will have that image. I have in brackets the word senior. No, that's not because there is a junior K-Ridge, like I've given birth to a K-Ridge daughter. Senior was my maiden name. So if you have anybody, even though, you know, for me, it was been a long time since I went to school, they will be able to find me. And that's why I have it in there. Keep in mind, I had one client that said to me, oh, I don't want anybody from school contacting me. I said, it's not about your friend from school. It's about who you know that they know. That's the connections that we want to spread out. And as I say, you're only meant to we're all meant to be connected within 6 degrees. So what I have on there now is obviously the different businesses that I work in. Unfortunately, you can, even if you're working in 3 different businesses, you can only have 1 in your profile, which is here. And at the moment, I've got coin up there. I can change that though and put, dash social, whatever I'm doing at the time. Again, I've changed it since I did the presentation. I've got aspiring leader, coin accredited agent, director, ASBAS consultant, small business advisor, LinkedIn advisor, and also I'm a small business advocate. I love small business. All right. You can see there how many connections that I have. Now this open to is if you're looking for a job or you're going to promote a job. Okay. Then in here, I've got my about, and I've got I'm an aspiring leader in small business who connects people, blah, blah, blah. You can tick in that or see more, and it gives you all the details, including getting to know me. It's got my features. It's got the activity. It's got my experience. All right, it's got my university. It's got all my different TAFE and things. Now, here is where I want you to put media. If you went to college, put in an image of the college. If you did TAFE, put an image of the TAFE. If you did university, put an image in. The reason being is that rich media ranks higher, as I mentioned before. And it's all about getting noticed. Put in all your licenses and certifications. Now, I've put all these in because I'm a LinkedIn professional. And it still keeps going. So what I've done is I've studied all these LinkedIn. So anybody that wants to come and have a look and think, well, what does she know about LinkedIn, can come onto my profile and go, Kay's done all of this. That's how she knows and how she can teach you. And a lot of people, yes, you can study it and you can go into LinkedIn Learning and study all this. but sometimes you need a hands-on and a little bit more information. I'm also an Australian Marketing Institute member. So if you're a member of anything, put it in, see credential. And here's the link to my credential. Hopefully you can see that and it will come up. So the link is in there. That's where you put your links in. I've done online marketing fundamentals. Here's my volunteer experience. That's really important. It's actually about to change because as of tomorrow, I'm the president of the Mullaney Chamber of Commerce as well. Skills and endorsements. Take the skill quiz. Again, it's filler. More you have on your LinkedIn profile, the more filler you have, the more you shift up the ranks from your competitors. Recommendations. Now, the golden rule is you should have 10% of your connections as recommendations. I'm actually failing in this. I only have 22 and I've got over 500 connections. 22 though is enough. All right, I've also given 10. And this is where you ask for a recommendation. So ask for a recommendation. Who do you want to ask? So on this, I'm going to go into one of my employees here, Kathy. Let's see if she's in here. Kathy Hennessy. Catherine, it is. Thank you, Catherine. Catherine's sitting beside me. I knew it was that. I don't know why I said that. R-E-R-I-N-E-H-E-N-N-E-S-S-Y.
Usually got a friend that's
I do. You're not coming up, Catherine.
K-A-T-H-R-Y-N.
No, that's not how it's. Let's try again. Oh, you're not coming up. Yeah. Okay, I'll try one of the other colleagues. Laura Goldsworthy. Let's just go in there just for example. Select the relationship. So Laura managed you, Laura reported directly to you, Laura was senior to you, you were senior to Laura, but didn't manage, you worked with her in the same group, you were a client, she was a client of yours. It doesn't matter what it is, find the connection. So on this, let's just say she reported directly to me, select your position at the time, and here's all the different businesses that I've had. And so what I would do in this circumstances is actually click it for this, go next. And this is where you go, hi Laura, could you write me a recommendation? And you would write the recommendation and go, look, I'd really like to have a recommendation. You know, thank you so much for choosing to connect with me. Thank you so much for conducting business with me, whatever the scenario shall be. Now, I'm not going to do it because Laura's actually already given me a recommendation, but that's how you do it there. Your accomplishments. Look at your honours and does someone say KFC? Very funny, Therese. Honours and awards, course, organisation, projects. Your interests. Why do we put in interests, do you think? We're trying to find something in common with the people that you want to connect with. That's why. Okay. Now, again, you can add profile sections. Here, they have everything that you've got here. Supported languages, what different languages that you speak. All of it's under the add profile section. All right, let's go back up here. Are you all still happy for me to go, or do you want to go into questions? No comment on chat? Keep on going. Thanks, Sybil. Happy to go on. Fabulous. Okay, so you now have all your profile done. So what happens with LinkedIn, everything is based off your profile. Then from your profile, you open up a company page. And from that company page, you can open up to 12 showcase pages. All right, now a showcase page is a little bit like outlining different skills that you have, or perhaps different types of clients that you have that you can talk about, and you can have up to 12. So let's go in and have a look. So we go me, You go down to, oh, do I have it in here or is it work? Go to work, create a company page. So from here, you would go in and go small business, obviously. You would name a page that would identify you. All right. You're hoping for more strategy or tips on getting leads for my small business, Jody. We're going to get to that. However, you need to have your profile 100% first. That's why I'm doing it this way. So you go into your company details, you detail everything that you have in your profile details, and then you go back to your own profile. And what you will need to do is go down to your profile, which is here. And when you come down to your experience, what you will need to do is go into it, delete the company and start to type the company back in, and that will link to your company page. Okay, so let's talk about strategy for a moment. So how do you get in touch with people? Have a think about what type of person you need or what type of company you want to get in touch with. So let's say for me, I want to start to get in touch with solicitors because that's a market that I'm currently wanting to look at. So I've typed in solicitors, I can look at people, I can look at companies, I can look at groups. So then I'll go, all right, well, let's have a look at companies. And I know that law practice has 1.7 kilometres, but let's have a look at some of these. Okay, I want solicitors Australia, because it's giving me the world. So here I've got 3 in here. You can say whether it's helpful or not. Let's say I go solicitors. Actually, I'll go lawyers, because lawyers tends to be the word that everybody's using now. Lawyers Brisbane. There must be Brisbane in Colorado. So let's start to have a look here. We've got College of Law, Piper Alderman. Okay, so if I go into Piper Alderman, I can now go down and have a look at their people, where they live and who are they. I'll answer that for you in a minute, Sybil. So now I can look at, here's the National Head of Real Estate, Corporate and Commercial Lawyer. Okay, so I might want to connect with him and go, hey, I've actually had a look at your profile. I suggest that you could need my help. This is what I do. All right. If you're a photographer, what type of photographer would you be? So in answer to your question, Sybil, you would be, your personal profile is about you with one of your experiences being a photographer. Then your company page is about being the actual photographer. And from that, you would highlight and showcase pages, different work that you've done. It might be animals, it might be weddings, it might be product, that type of thing. Can you please show us where you go to set up your business profile? Yep, I can. I've just actually been in there, but I'll show you again. You go to work, create a company page. All right. So when you're in a company page, now I'm not going to go into a company page because I've actually got my company. But what I want to show you is that when I go into Dash Social, which is my company page, all right, I've got my banner, I've got the logo, I've got what I do. Now, you can have somebody that follows your company page or follows your showcase pages without connecting to you. All right. So from here, if I want to do a showcase page, nope, hang on, let's go from here on. View as a member, admin tools, create a showcase page. All right, so let me go into a showcase page and show you. So here's a showcase page that I've done called Learning Social Media, and this hangs off Dash Social. So in here, different banner, different logo. I've done this simply because I was doing a course on it and writing. And see here, I've got 3 followers, 1 unique visitor, 1 post impression, because that's all I've put on here because I just did it for learning. Alrighty, so that's how that sort of works. So let me recap for you. Let me go back to me. So here we have my personal profile. It shows my logo, which is your call to action, profile. Now I can go into my profile, edit, and this is where you have your zoom buttons and your straighten buttons. I can also do filter. So in here I can make it that, I can make it whatever filter looks best. That was the original. I think we'll go that for today. Visibility. So you can look at who you want to have a look at it, just your connections, your network, all LinkedIn members and the public who are not signed in and find you through search engines. Well, why would I not choose that when I want more business? And yes, Therese, you can have up to 12 different showcase pages. So I'll select that and save my photo. All right, we go into the about section. Again, this is the highlight like the newspaper. Draw me in, want to know some more. And that's what you want them to do. The longer that they stay and read all your profile, the better and the more likely that they are to spend money with you. And this is what it's all about. It's about getting clients to know you a little bit better and that you have the expertise. LinkedIn is all about your credibility. Okay, you have no credibility anywhere else really. You've got lovely pictures, you've got nice warm fuzzies in Facebook, but this is a credibility of the experience and why you can do what you do. And it's not just, most of us by the time that we get into like our late 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever the scenario may be, have had more than one job. That is also counted as experience. We go through featured. This is what we do. Now I can do see all. These are all my featured articles that I've had on at different times. Okay. Dashboard. Who's viewed my profile lately? Now remember, I've got premium. Okay, sorry, Adam. Sorry, what is the purpose, aim of the showcase pages? They highlight what you do. They showcase what you're good at. So, Adam, can you tell me what your industry is, please? Financial planning. Okay. So you would give, for example, case studies of your clients. Obviously not detailing their names, but this client in this industry, this is what I did, this is the result. It's all about how great you are. Does that answer your question? Correct. So you do most of your work as you under your individual profile. Your company page and your showcase pages are about getting people to know more about you. Keep in mind, LinkedIn's all about connections, and the connections sit off your personal profile. And that's what gets searched majority in any of the searches. All right. So your activity. Now, it's changed a little bit since COVID. So we don't say to you, oh, you must post every week or anything like that. But what we do say is post at least once a month and be consistent. If you're posting once a month, post once a month. If you're posting once a week, post once a week. Again, every time you'll post, it goes to your connections. And you want to be at the forefront of what they're thinking. They might be thinking, oh, I need some help in financial planning. Gee, I really need to do something about that self-funded superannuation fund. But they do nothing. And then up pops Adam's. This is what Adam's done for this client. They go, actually, I will. I'll speak to him now and we need to get this on and going. All right. So that's where your activity comes. You then talk about all your experiences, your education, your licenses, your volunteer experience. Again, we're putting in all of this counts as content. which lifts your profile. And if you don't believe me, Google Cambridge and see where the other Cambridges come in. Then what we do is that we look at work, create a company page. All right, so we're in company pages, and as I said, I'll go into my company page because it's already done. Here I can also put in content. This is all the content that's been put in that I can share or do whatever. I can get my analytics from here, see who my visitors, my updates, my followers are. I can look at my activity. And somebody's very recently mentioned me, so I can join the conversation here. Again, it's about being active. All right, how many mentions have I had? How many requests? Who's shared? All that type of thing. And then from here, if I go back to home, under your admin tools, you can go in here and you can create a showcase page. You can also deactivate a showcase page. All right, so because you only have 12, let's say you have your 12 and suddenly you think, I've got actually a new product or a new service that I'm operating. I can only have 12, so I need to delete one of them. This is where you do it. All right, Sybil, would you put same content on personal and company page and showcase pages or cross-share? Good question, I'd cross-share. And the simple reason, new content is always better. Are these features available on the free version? No, they're not. So you only get a limited amount for free. And if you think about it, LinkedIn are offering you free so that you'll buy the premium. They're in business too to make money. They want to get $60 a month from you. So you have limited that you can do. But to begin with, start off with being on the free version and start lifting your profile. All right, now LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. So what happens is Microsoft or the Bing platform are going to promote you a lot more anyway, because you're owned by the same people. All right, again, content. So if you're putting something in Facebook, put it in LinkedIn. But make sure it's business. We don't want to know who your family is or what you had for dinner or what movie. Keep in mind, it's not always about sell either. Share content, comment on other people's content. It's showing that you have a vested interest in your own profile. Okay, so we're now up for questions. Does anybody have any other questions for me? We've got about 10 minutes left. One of the other things that I'd also like to show you, if I go back to me and my profile. You can share this more, you can share a profile and message as well, but that's not where I wanted to go. Where is it? Okay, if I look at all of my content, that's not it. If I go into all of my content, see all activity here. So if you click into your activity, I'm a firm believer in offering something for free. So here's all my activity of, you know, different things that I've put in, blah, blah, blah. Documents. These are all documents that I'm offering for free. For example, LinkedIn advertising. Guys, I can't teach you LinkedIn advertising on a webinar. It takes about 3 hours. And it's very good, but it is expensive and it's a little bit complicated if you've never done it before. But again, your LinkedIn advertising checklist, how you connect with people at an event. This is all available on the LinkedIn website. All I've done is duplicated it. And LinkedIn likes it because it's about LinkedIn. How you use the LinkedIn codes. Checklist when running a campaign. Page content suggestions. How to create a LinkedIn page. How you do an update. It's all free, but people love stuff for free. And again, why? Because they connect with me. I want connections. Here are the articles that I've written. And again, this was about different things. This one was actually when I was doing my social media diploma, I used Shoots of Prey and got permission to use them to base on. So I talked about then about how sad it was actually that they collapsed. Alice has said, up here in far north Queensland, I've been told that business use Facebook, not LinkedIn. Do you think this may change in the near future? I focus on LinkedIn because I've been on LinkedIn in many years and have been told this is a mistake. Alice, what is your industry, please? Have a think.
I'm a tech startup. I do 360 images.
Okay.
So I do photography, videography, and promotion.
Okay. My personal opinion is Facebook's not great anymore. Facebook is concentrating on a dating site. They're concentrating on a digital currency called Libra. They've lost their focus. There have been a lot of trouble and they've had a lot of breaches. All right, I'm not saying don't be on Facebook, but if you're going after business, LinkedIn is the way for you to go after that business and make an introduction. Again, it's about personal connections. Okay, so that's where I would suggest that you go. It's have a think about what you would use LinkedIn for. Is it the connections that you're after? Then find them on LinkedIn and send them a message. Most people, if you're genuine and go, hi Brian, I noticed that you're on LinkedIn. I'd really like to connect. I'm very interested in this, and I believe that we have mutual friends, because you'll be able to see who the mutual friends are as well. All right. Any other questions? Is there anything else you'd like me to show you? Are you all going to use LinkedIn?
Thank you. That's been really great. I've got a lot out of that.
I'm pleased. I'm just going to put why aren't you doing this properly for me? I'll actually go, sorry, I'm just going to stop the share for a minute, because I want to actually put my log on, and I wouldn't do it on there. Here we go. I'm just going to put my LinkedIn profile on the chat. One other things that I actually want to show you. See how on my, if you can all see the chat, that I have my name. Do you all know how to put your name on your LinkedIn, on your URL? No, we've got no. Okay, I'm going to share again with you. Can everybody again see my screen? Excellent. See up in the top right here, edit public profile and URL. You click that, edit your custom URL. So that little pencil there is where you put your name in. Got to put the chat back on. Okay. Would you put courses, webinars like this in your profile as links? I would do a showcase page for it and mention that you have a showcase page in regards to what it's about. If that makes sense. We also have Jody, are you typing me a message at the moment? Come on, guys, this is your perfect opportunity. Send me, we've got another 7 minutes to go.
Sorry, Kate. Oh, could I ask a question, please, Kate? It's Jody.
Please.
Hi. So I'm just wondering if you can share any sort of success stories or you know, really killer strategies for attracting new clients. And I guess I've got about 300 or so contacts on LinkedIn, and some of them are pretty high profile, but I suppose I'm a bit bashful about reaching out en masse. So
Don't do it on mass. Do it as an
no,
individual connection.
right. So I'm really just filtering by, I guess it's not so much the people the contacts that I have, but it's the people that they know, because I'm trying to, as a virtual assistant, I'm trying to find more clients in the corporate world, like the freelance consultants and the you know, the high flyers that have done very well and now branched out on their own. So
I have the perfect strategy for you. So what you look for the person that you want to contact, and you see what mutual connection you have, and you send a message to that mutual connection going, "Hi Eve, how are you? I noticed that both you and I noticed that you have a connection, Mark Brown. I'm really interested in getting in contact with him. Would you mind if I used your name as a reference?"
right.
He's going to come back and go, "No, not a problem." So now you write to Mark Brown and you go, "Hi Mark, we have a mutual connection. Da, da, da. She suggested that I give you a call. When would you be free to have a chat?"
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
But hang on, Mark Brown now comes back, all right, and says, "Yep, I'd love to get in contact with you, Jodie. How about 11 a.m. on Friday?" You now go back to your connection and go, "Thanks, Eve. I really appreciate you being used as a reference. I have a meeting at 11 a.m. Always go back and thank them for giving you that connection.
Sure. Yeah, no, that sounds good. Thank you. That's good. Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah, it's all about personal. So it's really important, Jodie, that it's a personal connection. Never do a blank. You know, we can spot it a mile away. And if you've got somebody that's high ranking and let's say they've got 500 plus connections, have a think about how many new connections they get a day. What do you think is going to make the connection?
Yeah, I actually think some of them get just sick of all the requests for connections though, and they just get all a bit browned out about it, you know.
Absolutely. So if you have a mutual connection that you mention, they're more likely to open it up, and it's different.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. Anybody else like to ask me something? Going. Oh God, you're all good. Guys, please connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm Kay Ridge from Dash Social and also an ASBAS connector. Have a look. We've got a lot more different webinars coming up. It's really good that you get involved. It's lovely seeing you today. You'll get a copy of this video. Have a great week and start connecting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.